The hair-raising adventures of Sam Spade, detective, brought to you by the makers of Wild Root Cream Oil for your hair.
Sam Spade, Detective Agency.
Hello, sweetheart. It's me, Sammy the Spade.
Sam, is it over yet? Who was behind the Battle of Montgomery Street?
I'll tell you all about it when I get there. What a day. I even had a fight with I guess you could call it a woman.
Why, everyone knows you can lick any woman your weight.
Not this one. Sharpen a couple of pencils, sweetheart. I'll be right over to dictate my report on the blood money caper.
Dashiell Hammett, America's leading detective, fiction writer, and creator of Sam Spade, the hard-boiled private eye, and Breathing Art's outstanding producer, director of mystery and crime drama, join their talents to make your hair stand on end with the adventures of Sam Spade. Presented each Sunday by Wild Root Cream Oil, the non-alcoholic hair tonic that will put your hair back in place again, grooming it neatly, naturally, the way you want it. Why does every girl turn thumbs down on a man? Here's one very good reason why. According to the recent survey, 97 out of 100 girls dislike a man whose hair is either unkept or too slicked down. So don't look that way. Spruce up with Wild Root Cream Oil. It grooms your hair neatly and naturally. And as our survey shows, that's exactly how girls like to see it. Non-alcoholic Wild Root Cream Oil contains lanolin, the soothing oil that's so much like the oil of your own skin. 4 out of 5 users in a nationwide test preferred Wild Root Cream Oil, and you'll like it too. And now, Wild Root brings to the air the greatest private detective of them all in The Adventures of Sam Spade.
Oh, Sam, your eye! She did hurt you.
Yeah, all of it. But there's a hole in my pants pocket. Come on, shake the lead out of your pencil.
Look what I got, Sam. It writes underwater.
For this report, you'll need one that writes under Humphrey Bogart. Put it on our best stationery. It's going to be the president of the Golden Gate Trust Company. What's left of it. Ready?
I'm always ready, Sam.
Dear Mrs. Newhall, you may consider this my final report. There's nothing I can do or want to do. From here out, your daughter Anne is your problem. 2 weeks ago, you retained me to check on her movements. You suspected she was going with a man known as Red O'Leary. You also said that you feared he was a, quote, disreputable character. You were right on both counts. On the night of September 16th, I picked up the subject, your daughter, at the Blue Bottle Bar and Grill. He and Mr. O'Leary were seated in a booth in the rear, finishing the phony scotch. I kept a plant on them, and during the next 10 days, they met regularly at the Blue Bottle. They never went anywhere, just sat and talked. That is, Anne talked. Red listened. This routine continued until last night. I killed them at a joint called Big Flora's on Telegraph Hill. I cooled my heels outside for a while, then went in after them. Big Flora's was a new gin mill on the hill. It'd been going less than a month, but it was going strong. I drifted over to the bar and threw a fast case around the place. No local guns. Strictly an out-of-state mob. O'Leary and your daughter were in a side booth. Big Flora herself pinned me with a look when I entered. He stood at least 5'10" in my stocking feet, broad-shouldered, deep-bosomed, thick-armed, a pink accordion-pleated throat, a handsome, brutal face.
Just getting town, dearie? Or are you a local talent?
I'm from KC. What makes you happy?
KC, yeah? Bobley?
Hobley Pushkin? He's still eating jute.
Know him, eh? What's your name?
I got a dozen. You like little Morphy?
Little Morphy's dead.
I know. I was with him in the busted caper that croaked him. He gave me his name before he died.
Well, if that's so, you must be the right guy. Shake.
Ow!
What's the matter, kid? You soft? Come on, this calls for one on the house. Out of my way, Papadopoulos. Big Flo's mixing these herself. This boy's from Kansas City. Meet my bartender, Papadopoulos.
Papa... who?
Papadopoulos, pleased to make your acquaintance.
Was there anyone in particular you wanted to meet?
How about that gold-plated mouse over there?
Eh? That's Red O'Leary's property. Miss Ann Newhall. She came in here slumming, I think they call it. Her and Red looked at each other, and dearie, that was a look. Love, I think they call it.
Yes, to talk to her might encourage trouble.
You shut up!
Please, I did not mean anything. No, oh no, don't strike me again.
Stop shaking, Papadopoulos. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at anyone tonight.
I'm so glad, Flora. It's so nice to see you so happy.
Flora, I gotta see you. In private.
Sure. Take over, honey. I gotta talk to this boy. Come in the back room, Blue Point.
Yes, Flora dear.
Why do you let her knock you around like that, Pop? Ain't you got a union?
What can I do?
Who's the gun she took into the back room?
Some gangster, I think. Vance is his name. Blue Point Vance.
Quite a few guns here this evening. There's Patty the Mex. Haven't seen him since the days of the old beer mob. Fat Boy Clark. Cokie Harmon. That frizzy blonde dame is Angel Grace Cardigan, isn't it?
Believe me, everyone here is a criminal. They've been drifting in here ever since that Red O'Leary came to San Francisco.
A new mob. Red O'Leary, the big gun?
Please, I know nothing of such matters.
Any idea what's the caper?
I have no idea.
Flora know?
Flora don't know. She likes anybody that brings money into the place.
Smart gal, Flora.
Yes. I must wait on a customer. Excuse me.
I looked up. Big Flora was coming out of the back room with blue pants. He laughed about something, and he walked away. Then Flora went over and whispered to Ann Newhall. Looking a little frightened, Ann got up and followed her into the back room. Red gave her a reassuring smile as she disappeared through curtains. I went over to Red's table.
What do you want, Seamus?
Mind if I sit down?
Yeah, I mind, but it looks like you don't.
Red, why don't you leave the girl be? This isn't her crowd.
Look, Spade, I don't mind your tailing us. That's the way you made your living, but let's keep it formal, shall we?
Yeah. Okay, Mr. O'Leary, let's. Who's the boss gun of this mob?
Mob? What mob?
Don't be coy. There's not a face in this room that doesn't have a picture of it, front view and profile, with a number under it.
Why are you telling me?
My job is to look after Ann Newhall.
Go ahead if you think she needs it.
She needs it. She's been drinking too much, and it's beginning to show.
You're not a snob, are you, Sammy?
Why should a kid that's got everything throw it away for what you've got, which is nothing?
You sound like you wish she'd thrown it away in your direction.
I do indeed, Red. I do indeed.
Now look, Sam, I've been walking the straight and ever since I left Chicago.
That what you told her?
That's what I told her, and that's what I'm telling you.
It couldn't be that you're rushing Ann Newhall because she knows her way around the Golden Gate Bank.
Use your head, Sammy. You couldn't blow the Golden Gate with A-bombs.
Ann might know what day the time locks are sprung, or she might find out from her mommy.
Use your head, Sammy. Montgomery Street is crawling with cops. Bank guards who can lay their hands on more heavy artillery in 30 seconds than this mob ever saw in their lives.
Guys have been crazy enough to try it.
Not this guy.
Good. Now what about Ann Newhall?
What about Ann Newhall, Mr. Spade?
Oh, hello, Miss Newhall.
Sammy doesn't believe I've gone straight, Anne.
Why do you waste your time talking to a sneaky gumshoe like him anyway, Red?
I felt like talking to him. You got any objections?
Of course not, Red, darling. I just thought maybe you thought it might be nice to talk to him since he's working for Mother.
He thinks he's working for you.
Well, he's not. Mr. Spade, I'm sick and tired of being followed around. Red is very well qualified to protect me. And if you don't leave us alone, I'm going to have to ask him to protect me from you. Do I make myself clear?
Okay, sweetheart. I'll call your old woman in the morning and tell her I'm through. And I'm going to tell her why I'm through.
Because Red threatened you, I suppose.
No, sweetheart, that's not why. The why is because you aren't worth protecting. I went home and tried to forget Ann Newhall. I did, pretty nearly, but I couldn't shake the hunch I had about the mob in Big Forest Place. I kept thinking about them and about your bank, Mrs. Newhall. Your bank and the bank that faced it across the street on Montgomery contained a good part of the cash money in the city of San Francisco. For a mob of cheap gunsels to knock over every one of those banks would be like splitting Gibraltar with a BB gun. But suppose the cops were really masterminded. 100 really tough guns might crack both of them at once. I'd counted 30 in Big Flores alone, and they were still coming in when I had left. It was a cute hunch, but wild. I decided to sleep on it. This morning, I was reaching for the phone to call you. When it rang. Yes?
Mr. Spade, this is Taylor Newhall.
Yes, Mrs. Newhall. I was just about to call you about your daughter.
Yes, Mr. Spade, about my daughter. There's no point in you continuing on that job. I've decided that Mr. O'Leary is all right.
You feeling all right this morning, Mrs. Newhall?
Yes, Mr. Spade. I've met O'Leary, and
Just a minute, Newhall. Mrs. Newhall, are you calling from the bank?
no, I'm at home. I decided not to go into the bank today.
You're a lucky woman, Mrs. Newhall.
What do you mean by that?
I'm looking out the window toward Montgomery Street, Mrs. Newhall, and I can barely see your bank from the gun smoke.
What's that? I can't hear you.
I can barely hear myself. I'll call you back, Mrs. Newhall. I couldn't see the bank building distinctly, but the block between Kearny and Montgomery told me enough. 10 police squad cars were piled up near the corner, and the cops had been mowed down as they crawled out from the wreckage. The bandits had started the caper by knocking over the garage where the banks kept their armored trucks, and they moved down the law as fast as they could come in. A police grenade blew one of the trucks sky high, and the cops moved in another few yards. But the gunsoles had thrown up a barricade behind it and held their lines. Guns chattering, grenades exploding, sirens screaming, and the yells of the battling men. It was like the soundtrack of All Quiet on the Western Front. The Battle of Montgomery Street had begun.
from the makers of Willroot Cream Oil, present Blood Muddy, an adventure of Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, Sam Spade. In just 21 words, I can sum up for you the reason why more and more men are using Willroot Cream Oil all the time. And here they are. Mainly because Willroot Cream Oil has the advantages that men expect from fine hair tonic, without the disadvantages they sometimes find. Yes, that's the gist of it. Now, what real man wants a tonic that plasters his hair and gives it a greasy, cystified look? Willroot Cream Oil never does that. It grooms your hair naturally without a trace of that slicked down appearance, or what a man wants, a hair tonic that makes him smell like a perfume factory. Willroot Cream Oil never does that. This grand non-alcoholic product was just a slight masculine fragrance. Besides, it does a really thorough job of grooming, keeps your hair handsomely in trim, relieves annoying dryness, and removes loose, ugly dandruff. And remember, there's not a single drop of alcohol in Willroot Cream Oil. And what's more, it contains soothing lanolin. So get that big economy size at your local drug or toilet goods counter. And next time you visit your barber, ask him to use Willroot Cream Oil on your hair. And now, back to Blood Money, tonight's adventure with Sam Spade.
By 12 o'clock, the Battle of Montgomery Street was over. On the desk in my office, the afternoon papers screamed the news of the Siemens National and Golden Gate Trust double looting in 5 colors. The returns weren't all in yet, but the score stood at 16 coppers knocked off, 3 times that many wounded, and 12 innocent spectators, bank clerks, and the like killed. The bandits had lost 7 known dead and 31 prisoners. The others, 100 odd, had made a clean getaway using the ordinary cars that were easily lost in traffic. I was reading the newspaper guesses as to the size of the loot. Around $10 million.
Sam! There's a man outside. I think he's been shot. There's blood all...
Stay in here. I'll see him in the outside office. What do you mean coming in here messing up my carpets?
They jumped me. It started.
What started? You need a doctor.
You've got to listen to me, Spade. I don't think I've got much more time. I've got 5 slugs in me. I'm Blue Point Vance.
Yeah, you're a pal of Big Flores. One of the mob that was in on the Montgomery Street push. What else? He talked. The way he told it, the mob was split up into 10 groups. Each group had a leader. Each leader received a map and a detailed plan of his part of the operation. But none of them know who made the plans. Each one took his orders from the group leader just ahead of him, like a chain letter scheme. Blue Point was the top link in the chain. I asked him who was the Eisenhower.
Don't. No. Every man's cut. 100 grand. Every one of us knocked off. Ups the divvy for the others. See? That's what I mean. It started. See?
Yeah. Who'd you get the orders from? Come on, Blue Point. Try. Who was it?
It was Red O'Leary.
Red, huh? I was afraid of that. F.A.!
Yes, Sam? Dead?
Yeah, call Homicide. Tell him to get the boys up here with the basket. Take the rest of the day off.
Did he tell you anything?
Some, Effie. Some. Blue Point Vance said it had started. It had. It was walking all day long. In alleys, singly at first. Happy Jim Hacker and Ratface. And then twos and threes. And finally, 2 dozen mowed down where they were lined up against a wall in a house on Fillmore Street. And for every mobster killed, there was a bigger chunk of blood money per man among the survivors. Around 6 in the evening, I walked up Telegraph Hill to Big Flora's. The neon sign was dark, curtains drawn tight over the windows, and a sign on the door said, "Closed for alterations." I climbed a flight of stairs to Big Flora's room over the saloon and pounded on the door.
Well,
Bucky Washburn sent me.
step inside. We'll talk in here. The parlor's in use.
So it's you. Flora? Oh, I thought I heard the door beat. Oh, excuse me.
I told you to keep your trap shut in front of our guests.
No, please, Flora. I'll be good. Don't strike me again.
So you and Papadopoulos are at it again. He your husband?
Ha ha! Him? Does the little man love his big Flora?
No, Flora. Please, not that.
What's the matter, honey? Don't you like to be hugged?
Yes, Flora, yes. But remember last time? My ribs. And they had to tape me up.
You should have heard him squeal when they pulled off the adhesive. Sit down, honey, before you fall down. You too.
Thanks.
All right, you. Talk. Who, what, and why?
I'm Percy McGuire. I'm Percy McGuire, and I want my 150 grand.
Listen, Percy, you got a bill, you gotta give it to the big gun.
I don't even know who he is.
That makes 2 of us.
But Flora, that is not true. He is coming here this evening.
What was that you said?
Now, Flora, darling. No, Flora, no. I did not mean to say anything wrong. I swear I did not.
I'll kill you. So help me, this time I'll kill you.
That's enough of that.
Who says so?
I say so. Pick on someone your own size.
You look about my weight.
Better not, Flora. You might get hurt.
Defend yourself, man. Defend yourself.
Okay, sister. You asked for it. I got the worst of it from the beginning. She led with her right like a woman. But I didn't know that she was a southpaw. I got in a couple where they should have counted. But where most women are soft, she had muscle. I was punchy before the round was over. When somebody rang the doorbell, I was on the carpet, saved by the bell.
Pardon me while I answer the door, Mr. McGuire. We'll finish this later. Let me take your gun. Getting old, out of condition. But we had fun, didn't we? Help him up, Papadopoulos. Get him some water.
You all right? You're not badly hurt?
Jaw's not broken.
Stay close by me this evening. We will help each other against that she-devil.
That wouldn't be the big gun she's letting in now.
Yes, yes. It is time.
Step in here, kids. You know Papadopoulos, Mr. McGuire. Red O'Leary and Mr. Newhall.
McGuire, eh?
Flora, Red is badly hurt.
Hurt? Why didn't you say so? What happened, Red? They jump you?
Slug in my neck. Can't move my arm.
Red thought you might know of a doctor we could trust.
Only doc I know got knocked off with that bunch on Fillmore Street.
Let me have a look at that.
You a doc, Mr. McGuire?
I don't think he'd last the hospital and through the questioning they'd give him there before they touch this.
No, don't say that!
He's lost a lot of blood, but he's tough. The slug stuck in his neck muscle. I can dig it out. You got any disinfectant in this house?
Nothing but a little bottled tincture of iodine, but it's mostly dried up.
You, listen carefully, Miss Newhall.
Yes?
Go down to the corner drugstore and get some alcohol, swabs, iodine, cotton, gauze. The kind with the blue cross on it. If he doesn't have that kind, tell him to phone out for some.
I don't know why. She doesn't look right to me. I don't know as I...
Shut up. Go out into the kitchen and boil some water. Get some towels and clean rags. Hurry up. I started digging the slug out of Red O'Leary's neck. It took about an hour. He was out for most of the time. When I put a bandage on it, using fluoride iodine for disinfectant, he was still running a fever when he got to his feet, burning his lips in a grin. His right arm hung useless. He reached out with his left arm to pick up his shoulder holster, and the gun wasn't in it anymore. The other empty holster was mine.
Where's Flora?
I sent her out to boil some more water. Shall we talk?
Listen, there's no time to talk. I know that you sent that girl to phone the police, Mr. Spade. Yes, I also know that you are Sam Spade.
Anne's no stool pigeon. She wouldn't rat on me.
She would if she thought it was the only way of saving your life. If she got what I was trying to tell her, that's the way she thinks.
Why, you...
No, he is right. Mr. O'Leary, that she-devil will kill us all. Better the police. Spade, listen to me. Let me get out past the police and I will give you everything.
Go on out. Who's stopping you?
Look out the window. Plainclothes men watching the door, waiting for a squad car. I am old. I am sick. What have I to do with robberies? You've seen it here. I am a slave. I, who am near the end of my life, abuse, cursing, beatings, and those are not enough. And now I must go to prison because of that she-devil. You will let me go out. I will give you to that she-devil, and I will give you the money they stole.
How can you get out?
How not? You're a friend of the police. You can take me out past your friends. The police do what I ask, and I will give you the monies. $10 million. Make no mistake. With that, when that she-devil comes back into this room, you will die. Both of you. She will kill you certainly.
Papadopoulos?
Sounds like it's too late.
What are you, old pigeon?
In here, Flora.
Where is that stool pigeon? Ah, there you are. Put the police on me, will you?
Who, me? I tipped the police.
You or that dame that came here with Red. You're done, both of you. You hear me? Done.
No. Wait. Flora, not here like this. Please, don't give the police such evidence. Let me take him to the cellar.
Okay, but make it quick, dearie. As soon as that squad car gets here, they'll be pounding at the door. Call me when you're finished, and I'll help you haul them out of sight.
You will march ahead of me. If either one of you makes one move, I will shoot you. I'm holding 2 guns on you.
Red and I walked ahead of Papadopoulos into the hall. I opened the door he indicated, switched on the basement light, and helped Red down the uneven flight of steps.
Listen to me. I will first show you the monies, then I will give you that she-devil. You will not forget your promise. I shall go out through the police.
Sure.
How about me?
You think Big Flora would let a rabbit like him change her plans?
So Big Flora was the boss. That's a laugh.
Now turn around, both of you. Here, take these.
What kind of a joke is this supposed to be?
I will give you these guns to show you I keep my promise. Now, quickly, follow me. I will show you where the monies are hidden.
I followed him and Red O'Leary to the end of the low passageway. Papadopoulos got down on his knees and started clawing at the wall like a rat. With trembling hands, he lifted out a section of loose bricks. And then we saw it. It was still in the boxes and bags the way it had been carried from the banks. He insisted on opening some of them to show me the money. Hundreds of bundles of green stacked in a metal-lined cell that was as dry and airless as the bank vault we lived in before.
That, as you see, is the money. Now, for that she-devil. You will stand hiding behind these boxes. When I bring her down the stairs, you will know what to do.
Yeah, Poppy, we'll know what to do.
He wasn't long in coming back. Flora came down the steps ahead of him. She had a gun in each hand. Her gray eyes were everywhere. Her head was down, like an animal's coming to a fight. Her nostrils quivered. Her body, coming down, not fast, not slow, was balanced like a dancer's. She was a beautiful, fight-bred animal.
Come out. Come out or I'll come get you.
Stay here, Spade. I want the first crack at the old witch.
Red! Come back here, you fool! Red!
Ah!
He dropped Red without moving a muscle that I could see. I guess the poor guy must have been a little feverish in his wound, running out into the open like that, firing wildly with his wobbly left hand. I didn't feel heroic myself. I just aimed the best way I knew how from my ambush and squeezed the trigger.
You bungling idiot! You shot the wrong one! You shot the wrong one.
My aim had been bad. I'd aimed for his leg, but got him in the side. After that last scream, he didn't make any more noise. Then he didn't move anymore. Big Flora let the guns fall from her hands and knelt down beside his body.
What did you do that for? I was the one with the gun on you. Why didn't you shoot me instead?
I figured who he was when you let him bring me down here where the money was without squawking your head off.
He was the smartest, kindest man that ever lived.
Smart enough and kind enough to put about 300 people out of their misery. Listen, Flora, don't you know he gave us guns and brought us down here so we'd knock you off and he'd have all the loot to himself?
He wasn't much of a man for muscle, but he had brains, see? He was smarter than you or any copper that ever lived. You killed a great man. I hope you feel good about it.
Yeah, you and him were quite a team. Nobody would have suspected that the arch gun of the biggest mob in history was Big Flora's whipping boy.
I never wanted to bat him around like that. I had to. I never really hurt him. We used to laugh about it afterwards.
All right, down there. All your exits are covered. Come out with your hands clasped behind your necks. This is the police.
All right. Keep your shirt on. Come on. There's no use fighting anymore.
You really loved him, didn't you, Flora?
So what? Who are you to laugh at us?
Yeah, you're right, Flora. Who am I to laugh at you? After the cops cleaned up at Big Flora's, I took your loving daughter on home in a taxi, Mrs. Newhall. See itemized and count closed. She was pretty broken up about Red O'Leary's death, but I think she'll recover. Please don't leave either your $10 million or your daughter lying around loose again. as the entire incident has caused me a great deal of trouble. I will therefore have to charge you my regular fee of $25 a day and expenses, instead of the usual fee for tailing. Period. End of report.
Oh, Sam, I wish you'd just taken one little package of that money. They'd never have missed it.
Effie, I'm surprised at you. That wouldn't be ethical.
I don't know why you have to get ethical every time the installment is due on the office furniture.
Hey, what's this?
Oh, letter for you. Came this morning.
Why didn't you tell me? It's from the Golden Gate Trust. A reward for my services. Well, hurry up. Open it. Aha! A check.
It's a check, all right.
How much?
$3.83.
What's that for?
I don't know. It's made out to Big Floor's Bar and Grill, signed by you and stamped "Return for lack of funds."
How do you like that?
I'll get used to it, I suppose, in time. Good night, Sam.
Good night, sweetheart.